You were taught to chase wealth by adding more money, more status, more things. But listen closely. True wealth isn't about having more. It's about needing less. The people who win are not the ones who collect the most, but the ones who depend on the least. You don't need another raise. You need fewer financial leaks. You don't need a bigger house. You need a life that fits. This audiobook is not about millionaire fantasies. It's about freedom. Freedom from debt. Freedom from stress. Freedom from the pressure to perform. If you're tired of chasing a finish line that keeps moving, stay. We're about to rebuild wealth from the inside out. Please subscribe now. Chapter 1. Wealth starts with needing. Lest you've been told your entire life that wealth is about accumulation. More money, more things, more symbols of success. But I want you to hear me right now. Real wealth begins the moment you need less. The moment your peace stops depending on a paycheck. That's the moment you start to become truly rich. Because wealth is not measured in cars, square footage, or digits in your bank account. It's measured in freedom. Freedom from worry. Freedom from pressure. Freedom from having to say yes when you desperately want to say no. Look at a monk. Look at a minimalist. Look at the family that lives debt-free on $35,000 a year. Society doesn't call them rich, but they sleep at night. Their phones don't vibrate with overdue payments. No one is chasing them for money. And that's the point. They have less, but they live more freely than people who earn triple their income. You don't need more. You need less pressure, less debt, less noise. Let me repeat it. You don't need more. You need less pressure, less debt, less noise. That is the foundation of this entire audiobook. Until you understand this, everything else will feel like a struggle. Because here's the painful truth. You can make $10,000 a month and still be broke if your life costs $10,001 to operate. You can drive a luxury car, live in a big house, post perfect photos online, and still be one missed paycheck away from collapse. That is not wealth. That is performance. It's not about income. It's about control. It's not about gaining more. It's about needing less. It's not about looking rich. It's about being free. Let's make this real. Imagine two people. Person A earns $200,000 a year, drives a luxury car, has a mortgage, 2 credit cards, private school tuition, dinner parties, rented furniture, and a life full of bills. Person B earns $50,000 a year, rents a modest home, drives a paid-off car, cooks most meals, and has zero debt. Who is wealthier? Person A owns more things. Person B owns more life. Because wealth is not the appearance of abundance, it is the absence of dependency. Dependency on loans, dependency on bosses, dependency on constant income just to survive. You have been conditioned to believe that more is the answer to everything. More money, more hustle, more ambition. But more only works if the foundation is solid. And for most people, it isn't. You don't need more. You need less pressure, less debt, less noise. When you reduce what you need, everything in life becomes easier. You're not desperate for a raise. You're not terrified of losing your job. You don't have to tolerate toxic people just because your lifestyle depends on their approval. That's the power of needing less. It gives you choices. Listen carefully. Every dollar you don't spend is a dollar buying your freedom. Every bill you eliminate is a chain removed from your life. Every unnecessary purchase you refuse is an act of rebellion against a culture that wants you tired and dependent. You have a choice. Your income matters, but your expenses determine your freedom. If your life costs too much to maintain, no paycheck can save you. If your life costs very little, you can survive almost anything. There are monks who live on silence and simplicity, and yet they are stronger, calmer, more grounded than millionaires drowning in stress. There are retirees living in small homes, debt-free, gardening in peace, while corporate executives grind their teeth at night, haunted by mortgages and car loans. So what happened? One learned to need less. The other kept chasing more. And you? You have a decision to make. This is not about deprivation. This is not about living in scarcity or fear. This is about power. This is about control. It's about waking up and realizing you have been trading your life for things that don't matter, and you have the power to stop. Start here. Write down everything you think you need. Then ask yourself, do I really need this, or did someone convince me I should want it? The subscription you barely use, the car payment that steals half your paycheck, the clothes you bought to impress people who don't even notice you. These are not luxuries. These are cages. You don't need more. You need less pressure, less debt, less noise. Cut one expense. Just one. Feel the space it creates in your life. Then cut another. and another. This is how wealth really starts. Not with a raise, not with a bonus. It starts with space. Space in your bank account, space in your calendar, space in your mind. You are not poor because you make too little. You are trapped because you spend too much on things that give you nothing back. That is the difference. Real wealth is quiet. Real wealth is the ability to breathe. So here's the decision you must make today. Will you keep chasing more? Or will you choose to need less? Because once you choose to need less, you take your life back. Your time, your peace, your power. You don't need permission. You just need discipline. And when you master this, when you finally understand that wealth is measured in freedom, not possessions, you'll be ready for the next step. Because now that you know wealth begins with needing less, it's time to learn how to control what you already have. Chapter 2. Track every dollar like your life depends on it. Most people don't go broke because they don't make enough money. They go broke because they don't know where their money is going. Untracked money doesn't stay. It leaks, it disappears. It slips through your life quietly, dollar by dollar, until one day you're asking, where did it all go? And the answer is simple. You didn't track it. You didn't respect it. And money never stays where it isn't respected. This is the chapter most people ignore. They want to skip to investing. They want to skip to passive income. They want the fun part. But listen closely. If you don't track your money, you don't deserve more of it. You wouldn't pour water into a leaking bucket. So why do you keep pouring your paycheck into a life full of holes? Untracked money disappears. Say it out loud. Untracked money disappears. That's the rule. That's the warning. That's the key. You can make $10,000 a month and still be broke if you don't track your spending. You can earn 6 figures and still live paycheck to paycheck. You can work every day of your life and never feel secure. Not because you don't make enough, but because you don't control what you make. Income is not the problem. Your awareness is. Let me give you the real-world truth. I know someone who made $10,000 a month. High-rise apartment. New phone every year. Ate out every night. Constant vacations. But every month, his bank account hit zero. He was stressed. He was exhausted. He was stuck in a lifestyle he couldn't afford. Why? He didn't track a single dollar. Not one. He assumed high income meant security. He was wrong. Income is not wealth. Control is wealth. And here's the part you need to understand. You are not overwhelmed because life is expensive. You are overwhelmed because you don't know where your money is going. That is a choice. You have a choice. Track it or lose it. You don't need an app. You don't need a financial advisor. You need a notebook, a pen, and brutal honesty. Write it down. Every dollar. Every day. No exceptions. Coffee, write it. Netflix, write it. Rent, write it. That late night fast food order you pretend didn't happen, write it. This is not about shame. This is about clarity. Because you cannot change what you do not measure, and you cannot build wealth in the dark. When you track your money, you wake up. You see the truth. And truth creates control. It's not about perfection. It's about discipline. It's not about guilt. It's about awareness. It's not about restricting your life. It's about owning it. Let me ask you, how many subscriptions do you pay for that you don't use? How many times do you eat out because you're too tired to cook? How many impulse purchases sit in your home, untouched, forgotten, collecting dust while they drain your future? These are not accidents. These are decisions. You have a choice. You can keep pretending everything is fine, or you can face your numbers and take control. Write it down. Every dollar, every day, no exceptions. Some of you will resist this. You'll say it's too extreme, too obsessive, too time-consuming. But think about this. If you tracked your calories for your health, would you call that extreme? If you tracked your steps to improve your fitness, would you call that obsessive? Then why does tracking money suddenly feel uncomfortable? Because money exposes your habits, and habits expose your truth. You don't need their permission. You don't need your friends to understand. You don't need your family to approve. This is your life, your freedom, your responsibility. Start tonight. Sit down with your bank statements. Print them if you have to. Go line by line. Highlight every expense. Total your food. Total your entertainment. Total your subscriptions. Face the number. It will hurt. Good. Pain creates change. Then create categories. Essentials. Non-essentials. Leaks. Essentials keep you alive. Non-essentials keep you comfortable. Leaks keep you stuck. Your job, destroy the leaks. Reduce the non-essentials. And protect the essentials. Because tracking isn't about restriction. It's about direction. You're telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. And listen, this is not forever. You track aggressively now so you can live freely later. You build the discipline now so you can enjoy the freedom later. Temporary control for permanent peace. Let me make this clear. The goal isn't to write numbers. The goal is to build awareness, because awareness builds discipline, and discipline builds freedom. That's the path. That's the formula. That's the key. And if you refuse to do this, if you choose to stay blind, nothing in this audiobook will help you. Because you cannot master wealth while ignoring your reality. You have to see it, feel it, own it, write it down. Every dollar, every day, no exceptions. When you do this long enough, something incredible happens. You begin to feel powerful. You make purchases on purpose. You stop buying to impress. You start buying to improve. You look at your expenses and think, do I want this or do I want freedom? That's the mindset shift, and that is when wealth truly begins. Not when your income increases, but when your awareness does. You have a choice today. Keep guessing or start tracking. Keep leaking money or take control. Keep living in the dark or turn the lights on. Because in the end, money doesn't control you, you control money. But only if you're willing to look at it. Only if you're willing to track it. Only if you're willing to respect it. Untracked money disappears, always. Now you know what most people never understand. You don't need more money. You need more clarity. You need more honesty. You need more control. You've taken the first step. You've faced the truth. You've started tracking. Good. Because now you're ready to face the real enemy, debt. Chapter 3. Debt is the silent wealth. Killer debt doesn't scream. It whispers. It doesn't break you in one day. It drains you quietly, month after month, until you forget what freedom even feels like. Debt is a leash, a quiet master. And every time you swipe a card, sign a loan, or finance your lifestyle, that leash tightens around your life. You think you own your house, your car, your phone, your education. But if you are still making payments, understand this clearly. You don't own it. The bank does. If you don't own your life, the bank does. That's not dramatic. That's reality. Debt is not just numbers. It's control. It dictates where your money goes every month. It decides what you can and cannot do. It tells you when to wake up, where to work, how long to stay. That's not freedom. That's servitude dressed up as modern living. Debt is a leash. A quiet master. Look at credit cards. They are not financial tools. They are wealth extraction machines. You borrow $1,000, you think you'll pay it back slowly. But the average interest rate is 20%. Miss a payment and now it's more. You pay the minimum, maybe 25, you feel responsible. But let's do the math. You owe $1,000. At 20% interest, if you only pay the minimum, it will take you nearly 5 years to pay it off. And you'll pay over $600 in interest alone. That's 60% of the original amount gone, not buying you anything, not improving your life, just feeding a system designed to keep you working. That $5 coffee? If put on a credit card and unpaid, it becomes $7. That $1,000 phone turns into $1,400. That vacation you couldn't afford? You're still paying for a memory that doesn't pay you back. That's the trap. That's the leash. Debt is a leash. A quiet master. And if you don't own your life, the bank does. You think you're in control because the payments are small. But small payments multiplied by time equals slavery. You think it's normal because everyone around you is doing it. But just because it's normal doesn't mean it's wise. Debt is not a strategy. Debt is a surrender. Student loans. They promised freedom. They sold you the idea that debt is an investment. But now you're paying $300 a month for a degree you don't even use. That's not an investment. That's a chain car payments. You didn't buy transportation. You bought status. You bought admiration from strangers at a price of 5 years of your future. You drive it today, but the bank owns every mile until the last payment is made. You have a choice. You can either keep pretending debt is normal, or you can call it what it is. Financial slavery with Wi-Fi and leather seats. It's not about shame. It's about ownership. It's not about guilt. It's about discipline. It's not about deprivation. It's about freedom. If you are in debt right now, this is your wake-up call. Stop treating debt like a roommate. Treat it like an intruder in your home. You don't negotiate with it. You eliminate it. Aggressively, consistently, relentlessly. Step 1. Stop the bleeding. No more new debt. Cut the cards. Freeze them. Burn them if you have to. You don't need their permission. You need discipline. Step 2. List every single debt you owe. Write it down. Who you owe. How much you owe. The interest rate. The minimum payment. Face the number. You can't fix what you refuse to see. Step 3. Attack the smallest one first. Why? Because quick wins create momentum. Pay it off, celebrate, then move to the next. And the next, and the next. That's how you break chains, one link at a time. Will it be easy? No. Will it be worth it? Every second. Because every dollar you pay off is a dollar buying your freedom back. Every loan you close is a piece of your life returned to you. Remember this, debt is not just about money. Debt steals your peace. Debt steals your options. Debt steals your future. You cannot build wealth while paying interest to someone else. You cannot claim freedom while your paychecks belong to the bank before they even reach you. If you don't own your life, the bank does. People will tell you debt is smart. Use other people's money, they'll say. But listen closely. Using other people's money is only smart if that money creates value. Buying assets that pay you back? Maybe. Buying things that lose value the second you touch them? That's not smart. That's self-sabotage. It's not about being against credit. It's about being against dependency. It's not about being afraid of debt. It's about being disciplined enough to destroy it. That's the key. You have a choice. You can stay in debt, spend your life working for the bank, and call that normal. Or you can decide today that you're done. Done borrowing. Done living in chains. Done confusing slavery with success. Start now. Sell what you don't need. Cut what doesn't matter. Live below your means, not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough to choose long-term freedom over short-term comfort. Debt is not your identity. It's a temporary situation, but only if you choose to fight it. And when you fight it, when you finally break free, you'll feel something you haven't felt in a long time. Control, peace, ownership. Because when you own your life, you don't panic when bills come. You don't fear losing your job. You don't wake up with anxiety over money. You wake up with choices, and that is wealth. You've faced the truth. You've seen the chains, and now you're ready for the next step. You confronted your master. Now let's build your armor. Chapter 4. Build systems. Not willpower motivation is a spark. It burns bright for a moment, then it fades. That's why your life feels like a cycle of starting strong and quitting halfway. You get inspired, you make promises, you swear this time will be different. But then Monday comes, stress comes, fatigue comes, and just like that, your motivation is gone. You need to understand this truth. Motivation is unreliable. Systems are not. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your systems. That's the key. It's not about passion. It's not about hype. It's about building a structure so solid that you can't fail, even on your worst days. Think about it. A pilot doesn't fly a plane on motivation. There are checklists, procedures, instruments, systems, because lives depend on it. Why don't you treat your financial life with that same seriousness? Why do you trust your mood instead of your method? You have a choice. Keep pretending willpower is enough, or build something that works even when you don't feel like working. Because here's the truth. Your bad days will come. You'll get tired. You'll get unmotivated. You'll want to quit. And that's fine if your system keeps moving even when you stop. Motivation versus systems. Motivation says, I'll try to save money this month. A system says, 20% of my paycheck is automatically transferred to my savings account the moment it arrives. Motivation says, I'll remember to pay my credit card on time. A system says, every bill is on auto pay, never late, never forgotten. Motivation says, I should invest. A system says, every week, $50 automatically goes into my index fund. No debate, no hesitation. You don't need another motivational speech. You need a process. Because systems survive your bad moods. Systems don't care about your feelings. Systems just work. Real-world examples. This is what systems look like: automated savings. Set your bank to move a percentage of your income, before you see it, before you touch it, into a separate account. That money is gone, untouchable. That's not discipline. That's design. Automatic debt payments. Minimum payment. No, set it higher. Set it automatic. You don't wait for the bill. You attack the debt before it asks for attention. Because debt doesn't sleep, and neither should your system. Automatic investments. Stop trying to time the market. You're not a Wall Street trader. You're a builder. Set automatic deposits into index funds or retirement accounts. Every week. Every month. Rain or shine. No permission needed. Zero-based budgeting. Every dollar has a job. No orphans. No miscellaneous. You don't need more money. You need a map for the money you already have. Why this works? Because systems remove decision-making. That's the key. The more choices you have to make, the more likely you are to make the wrong one. You're not weak. You're just human. And humans, when tired, choose comfort over discipline. So eliminate the need to choose. Don't rely on grit. Rely on structure. You have a choice. Keep saying, "I'll try harder," or start saying, "I'll build better systems." The illusion of willpower. People think rich people are more disciplined. They're not. They just built systems that do the discipline for them. Money flows in predictable directions, toward people with structure, away from people with chaos. You don't need their permission to build your own structure. You don't need to wait until you're rich. Systems aren't for the wealthy. Systems are how you become wealthy. So stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is a liar. It tells you to start tomorrow. Systems whisper, "Start now," then never stop. Action steps. Start today. Here's what you do next. Not tomorrow. Today. Step 1. Open your banking app. Create a separate savings account. Name it non-negotiable. Automate transfers every payday. Step 2. List every bill and debt. Automate minimum payments plus an extra percentage. Make it hurt a little. Step 3. Set up automatic investments. No more waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is scheduled. Step 4. Write your money map. Where does every dollar go? Track it. No dollar should wander. Do this and watch how your stress drops. Watch how your confidence rises. Because suddenly money isn't chaos. It's a system. But what if I don't make enough? Then start with less. Even $1 automated is more powerful than $100 you plan to save but never do. It's not about the amount. It's about the discipline. That's the key. But what if an emergency happens? Then your system adjusts. But don't confuse flexibility with chaos. Your system exists because emergencies happen. It protects you from panic. But what if I mess up? You will, that's guaranteed. But systems make it easy to climb back. Motivation makes you feel guilty. Systems make you feel prepared. This is a choice. You have a choice. Stay in the endless loop of trying, failing, and restarting, or build a machine that doesn't care how you feel today. Wealth is not emotional. Wealth is mechanical. It's not about motivation. It's about structure. It's not about trying harder. It's about building smarter. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your systems. Remember that. So build the system. Trust the system. Let the system carry you when you're tired. Because when you finally have your structure in place, money stops being stress and starts being a tool. You mastered the power of tracking. You learned to respect every dollar. Now it's time to protect what you're building. Chapter 5. Increase your income. The right way. We need to get one thing straight. You can't save your way to freedom if your income never grows. Cutting lattes won't buy you financial independence. Coupons won't make you rich. Frugality matters. But at some point, the problem isn't your spending, it's your earning. You don't need another side hustle that pays pennies. You need skills. You need leverage. You need to increase your income the right way. Because income is not about working harder. It's not about longer hours. It's about greater value. That's the key. You get paid in direct proportion to the problems you solve, not the time you spend. You have a choice. Keep trading time for money, or start building value that pays you whether you're clocked in or not. Value over hours most. People are stuck because they think money comes from effort. They believe, if I work more hours, I'll get more money. That's the lie. Money doesn't respond to time. Money responds to value. Skills pay. Distraction delays. Comfort costs. A minimum wage worker can grind 60 hours a week and still drown. But a skilled copywriter can send one email and earn more in an hour than someone makes in a week. Same time. Different value. That's the difference. You don't need their permission to earn more. You don't need luck. You need skills that solve problems people care about. The barista example. 2 choices, 2 futures. 2 baristas, same job, same paycheck. Barista. One finishes work, goes home, scrolls social media for hours, complains about rent, waits for a raise that never comes. Barista. 2 finishes work, opens YouTube University, learns digital marketing, practices social media ads for small local cafes, builds a portfolio, starts charging $300 per client, eventually doubles income without pouring an extra cup of coffee. Same hours, same schedule, different choices, different discipline, different destiny, skills pay, distraction delays, comfort costs. Say it again until it burns into your bloodstream. You don't need permission, you need skills. The world doesn't pay for effort. It pays for impact. Your income is not stuck, your value is. So here's your roadmap. Step 1, pick one high-value skill: copywriting, sales, video editing, coding, digital design, social media marketing. Don't pick 5, pick one. Step 2, practice daily. Not when you feel inspired, not when it's convenient. 10 minutes a day beats 3 hours once a month. Step 3, monetize before you're perfect. Perfection is procrastination wearing a mask. You don't need to be the best. You need to be useful. You have a choice. Consume content or create value. Scroll or build. Waste time or buy freedom. Leverage, the ultimate multiplier. If Chapter 4 was about systems, Chapter 5 is about leverage, doing work once and letting it pay you repeatedly. There are 3 types of leverage you need to understand. Skills leverage, you become more valuable. Your brain makes you more money than your body. System leverage, technology and automation. Digital tools do the work while you sleep. Asset leverage, products, content, digital assets you create one time and sell forever. A digital product can sell to 10 people or 10,000 people with the same effort to create. That's leverage. That's how people break the ceiling of time-based income. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Let's be brutally honest. The reason most people stay broke is not lack of opportunity, it's comfort. Comfort in low expectations. Comfort in routine. Comfort in doing what they already know. But comfort has a cost. Every distraction steals from your future. Every hour wasted is an hour your dreams starve. You have a choice. Stay comfortable and broke, or choose discomfort and growth. There is no third door. Skills pay. Distraction delays. Comfort costs. Stop asking how much does it pay. Start asking how much can I learn. Poor people chase paychecks. Wealthy people chase competence. That's the difference. The question isn't how much does it pay. The question is, does this make me more valuable? Because value increases income. Every skill you master adds dollars to your future. Want more money? Become someone the market can't ignore. Action plan. Increase your income. The right way. Let's get practical. Here's what you do now. Audit your time. Where are your hours going? Replace 1 hour of scrolling with 1 hour of skill building. Choose a skill. Pick one. Master it. Focus is a superpower. Set a 30-day learning sprint. Every day, learn something. Every day, create something. A design, a video, an ad, a landing page. Find one person to help. Offer your skill for free or cheap. Collect results. Build proof. Raise your price. You don't need millions of clients. You need a few who pay well. Action beats anxiety. Progress beats perfection. You don't need their permission. You need discipline. The truth you can't ignore. Let me remind you, you don't get rich by trying harder. You get rich by becoming more valuable. You don't escape your job by hating it. You escape by outgrowing it. You don't need more hours. You need more impact. You have a choice. Stay the same. Or build the version of you that earns more than your past ever imagined. Because your bills don't care about your feelings. The economy doesn't care about your excuses. Skills pay. Distraction delays. Comfort costs. Chapter 6. Live below your ambitions, not just your means. You've heard people say, live below your means. It's good advice, but it's not enough. Because you can still live below your means and stay broke. The goal is to live below your ambitions, below your ego, below the urge to prove. Wealth isn't about what you can afford. It's about what you refuse to waste. It's about choosing freedom over appearance. Lifestyle creep is the enemy. You make more money, and then you spend more money. You get a raise, and instead of buying freedom, you buy noise. A bigger car, a nicer watch, a louder life. Not because you need it, but because you can. And that is how people lose. Quietly, slowly. one unnecessary purchase at a time. You don't need to impress people who don't even think about you. That's the line you need to remember. Because most people are not watching you. They're too busy worrying about themselves. Yet you sacrifice peace to win a game no one is keeping score in. The millionaire versus the pretender. Let me paint a picture. A man worth millions drives a 10-year-old Toyota. Paint chipped. Seats worn. No one looks twice at him in traffic. But he's free. No loans, no payments. No pressure. His money works for him. His life belongs to him. Another man pulls up in a luxury SUV, fresh off the lot. Shiny, loud. Everyone notices. But the bank owns his car. The credit card owns his vacations. The mortgage owns his house. And stress owns his mind. One of them is wealthy. The other just looks like it. You have a choice. Do you want wealth, or do you want the appearance of wealth? You don't need to impress people who don't even think about you. Say it again. Let it sink in. Living below your ambitions. Living below your ambitions means this. Don't upgrade your lifestyle every time your income increases. Don't buy things just because you can. Don't spend today what could buy you freedom tomorrow. You may be earning more than you ever have. Good. Now here's the test. Can you let that money sit? Can you do nothing with it? Can you wait? Most people can't. They think money is fuel for consumption. But the wealthy know money is fuel for independence. It's not about deprivation. It's about direction. It's not about living small. It's about living smart. The prison of appearances. Here's the trap. You start making a little more money, and suddenly you feel entitled to look successful. A nicer phone, new sneakers, a better apartment. You tell yourself you've earned it. You deserve it. But what you really deserve is freedom, peace, options. You don't need to impress people who don't even think about you. They won't remember the shoes you wore. They won't remember the car you drove. But you will remember the debt. You will remember the stress. You will remember the nights you couldn't sleep because the bills kept coming. The people you're trying to impress won't pay your bills when life hits you. They won't rescue you from debt. So why are you living for their approval? Practical discipline. How to live below your ambitions. This is where discipline becomes real. Here's how you do it. Set a freedom number. How much money gives you 6 months of peace? 1 year of breathing room? That's your real goal, not a new phone, not a new car. Freedom. Freeze your lifestyle. For the next year, keep your expenses where they are, even if your income doubles. That gap, that's your wealth. That's your ticket out. Delay the upgrade. Want a new car? Fine, but wait 90 days. If you still want it after 90 days and you can pay cash without stress, then decide. Not before. Track flex spending. Dining out, subscriptions, clothes. These are the cracks where money leaks. Plug them. If you don't own your spending owns you. It's not about being cheap. It's about being intentional. It's about deciding your life, not letting marketing, friends, or ego decide it for you. Ambition. Over-ego ambition is quiet. Ego is loud. Ego buys the watch. Ambition buys the asset. Ego wants attention. Ambition wants options. Ask yourself, does this purchase pull me closer to my goals or push me further from them? If it's not building your freedom, it's stealing from it. You have a choice. Stay in the cycle of earn and spend, or break it. Build and keep, build and grow, build and own. Because here's the truth. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep. It's not about income. It's about discipline. Stop renting your image. Start owning your future. Every time you buy to impress, you rent an image. But when you invest, you own your future. Ownership is silent. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't need applause. You don't need their permission to live differently. You don't need approval to be disciplined. You just need to choose. You don't need to impress people who don't even think about you. Because they won't care when the bills come. They won't care when the car gets repossessed. They won't care when your paycheck barely covers the debt. This is your life, not theirs. Chapter 7. Money buys time. Spend it wisely. You've been lied to your whole life. They told you money buys things, cars, shoes, vacations, but that's not the truth. Money buys time, and time is the only currency that actually matters. You can lose money and make it back. You can lose pride and rebuild it. But when time is gone, it's gone forever. No refunds, no negotiations. You're not buying things. You're trading hours of your life. That's the key. Look at your bank account. Look at everything you own. Every item is a receipt of your life exchanged. You didn't just pay dollars for that watch or that phone. You paid in late nights, missed dinners, stress, and hours you will never get back. You have a choice. Start seeing money differently. Start seeing time as the real transaction. Rich people understand this early. They don't chase luxury to impress strangers. They use money to reclaim their hours. They outsource tasks. They hire help. They automate. Not because they're lazy, but because they understand the trade. Buy time now so they can live, think, create, and protect their energy. Poor people do the opposite, not because they're incapable, but because they were never taught. They think saving money means doing everything themselves, cooking every meal, fixing every issue, spending Sunday cleaning the house instead of resting or planning. They don't realize they're burning time to save pennies. You're not saving money if the cost is your life. You have to ask yourself a hard question. Is this worth my time? Not can I afford it? Not what will people think? But how many hours of my life am I trading for this? And is it worth it? That's the shift. That's the key. Time is the real luxury. There's a reason every wealthy person says the same thing when you ask what they value most. Freedom. Freedom to wake up without an alarm. Freedom to say no. Freedom to spend time with the people they love. They didn't buy that with luck. They bought it with discipline. Most people don't want freedom. They want comfort. Comfort keeps you working for things you don't need, to impress people you don't like, with time you can't get back. You have a choice, comfort or freedom. You can't have both. Think about it like this. If you make $20 an hour and you buy a $400 phone upgrade, that's not a phone. It's 20 hours of your life. 20 hours you could have spent learning a skill. 20 hours with your family. 20 hours building your future. You're not buying things. You're trading hours of your life. Repeat that until it sinks in. Buy back your time. Intentionally. Here are the rules wealthy people live by. Rule 1. Eliminate before you automate. Don't outsource meaningless tasks. Delete them. You don't need to organize clutter. You need to remove it. Rule 2. Automate everything that repeats. Bills, savings, investments. Set up auto transfers. Stop relying on willpower. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your systems. Rule 3. Outsource low-value, time-heavy tasks. If mowing your lawn takes 3 hours and someone else can do it for $20, hire them, if your time is worth more. Use that time to think, build, rest, plan, not to grind endlessly. Rule 4. Protect your mind. Outsourcing isn't just about tasks. Outsource stress. Hire an accountant. Use software. Hire a cleaner. Free your mind from things that drain energy. This is not about laziness. It's about leverage. The wealthy don't work harder. They work on the right things. They spend their energy where it multiplies, not where it evaporates. The trap of, I'll do it myself. You grew up believing independence means doing everything on your own. That's pride talking. Pride won't make you rich. Discipline will. Delegation is not weakness. It's intelligence. But here's the warning. Don't outsource your life so you can scroll on your phone. That's not saving time. That's wasting it faster. When you buy your time back, invest it in health, in relationships, in learning, in building something that outlives you. Time is not meant to be killed. Time is meant to be used. Your life in hours right now, calculate it. Your hourly rate, your monthly expenses, your debt. Put it all into time, not dollars. How many hours do you owe the bank? How many hours go to your landlord? How many hours are left for you? If that number scares you, good. That fear is a gift. It means you're awake now. You have a choice. Keep trading your life for things, or start buying your life back. This is about freedom. Money is not the goal. Time is the goal. Money is only the tool. If you chase money without purpose, you'll stay on the hamster wheel. If you chase time, money becomes your ally, not your master. So start today. Cancel things that cost time, but don't feed your future. Automate the essentials. Outsource the distractions. And reinvest every hour you gain into becoming who you were meant to be. Because at the end of your life, you won't remember the cars, shoes, or screens. You'll remember the moments, the mornings without stress, the dinners without urgency, the freedom to breathe. You're not buying things. You're trading hours of your life. Spend them wisely. You understand this now. You've taken back your time. Next, how do you make your money grow while you sleep? Chapter 8. Invest in assets. You understand you want to be wealthy, but you're gambling. Let's be honest. You're not investing. You're hoping. You're scrolling through social media, listening to strangers, and putting your money into things you don't understand because everyone else is doing it. That isn't wealth building. That's a donation. And the market will gladly take every dollar you hand over. Remember this. If you don't understand it, you're not investing. You're donating. You have a choice. You can chase hype or you can build actual wealth. Real wealth doesn't scream. It doesn't trend. It doesn't go viral on TikTok. Real wealth is boring. Real wealth is disciplined. Real wealth is built on assets you can explain to a 10-year-old. That's the key. If it takes a 40-minute YouTube conspiracy video to explain your investment, it's not an investment. It's a trap. People lose fortunes because they think they're investors when they're really gamblers. They buy coins because it's going to the moon. They buy meme stocks because you only live once. They don't read the company's financials. They don't understand the technology. They don't know the risk. And when it crashes, they call it bad luck. No, it wasn't bad luck. It was bad discipline. If you don't understand it, you're not investing. You're donating. Let's talk about the difference. Gambling is emotional. Investing is logical. Gambling is fast. Investing is patient. Gambling searches for excitement. Investing searches for proof. That is the difference between broke dreamers and disciplined builders. You have a choice which one you will be. Look at the wealthy. They don't chase hype. They own things that produce value. They own rental properties that generate rent. They own shares in stable companies that pay dividends. They own index funds. Quiet, consistent, reliable. Why? Because wealth is not a lottery ticket. Wealth is a system. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your systems. Let's make it plain. Index funds. They're not flashy. Nobody brags about them, but they work. You're buying small pieces of hundreds of companies. If one fails, the others hold you up. Over time, not overnight. They grow. Dividends. They pay you simply for owning a share of the company. Real estate, a roof over someone's head. People will always need it. Rent comes in whether the market is trending or quiet. That is wealth. Slow, predictable, boring. And it works. Then there's the other side. Meme coins, penny stocks, lottery trades with borrowed money. People don't study the underlying business. They don't understand the system. They don't understand the risk. They only understand one thing, hype. And hype is a terrible financial advisor. Say it again. If you don't understand it, you're not investing. You're donating. You might say, but people got rich from crypto? Yes, a few. You don't hear about the millions who lost everything. You don't hear about the people who sold their houses, borrowed from their parents, swiped their credit cards, hoping to get rich overnight. That isn't investing. That's financial suicide disguised as ambition. You don't need to chase miracles. You need to master fundamentals. You don't need more luck. You need more discipline. That's the key. Learn how money works. Learn how compounding works. Learn how to read a financial statement. You don't need their permission. You need understanding. Here's your action plan. Stop putting money into things you can't explain. If you can't teach it, you shouldn't buy it. Start with proven assets, low-cost index funds, dividend-paying stocks, cash-flowing rental properties. Automate it. Make it consistent. Weekly or monthly contributions. No emotion, no drama. Just discipline. You have a choice. Keep guessing, keep hoping, keep donating, or start understanding. It's not about getting rich fast. It's about never being broke again. You don't need perfect timing. You need a system. Because systems survive your emotions. Systems survive hype. Systems survive fear. Remember the phrase. Keep it in your head. Engrave it in your decisions. If you don't understand it, you're not investing. You're donating. That's the filter. That's your protection. That is how you build wealth that lasts. And when the world starts shouting about the next big thing, the next digital gold, the next coin, the next craze, pause. Ask yourself one question. Do I understand it? If the answer is no, walk away. You just saved yourself a fortune. You are not here to impress people. You are here to build freedom. Wealth isn't loud. Wealth isn't impulsive. Wealth is patience. Wealth is boring. Wealth is ownership of things that create value over time. And that's your path now. Because every dollar you invest in something you understand is a soldier working for you. Every dollar you throw into hype is a soldier you sent to die. Which army are you building? You have a choice. You mastered the truth about time and wealth. Now it's time to protect what you build. Chapter 9. Protect your wealth from chaos. You can work your entire life to build wealth and still lose it in one storm, one accident, one emergency. That's why this chapter exists, to remind you of a brutal truth. Wealth without protection is just a target. You're not safe because you have money in the bank. You're safe when your money is shielded from chaos, from randomness, from life taking a swing at you. Because life will swing. It always does. Let me say it again. Wealth without protection is just a target. You can make six figures, invest smart, buy assets, and then a single medical bill, lawsuit, or job loss wipes it out. You don't rise to your income, you fall to your preparation. That's the key. You have a choice. Prepare before the storm, or rebuild after the destruction. First rule of wealth protection. You don't buy a parachute after the plane loses altitude. You buy it on the ground while everything feels fine, before the engines fail. That's your emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved in cash, untouched, boring, not invested, not gambled. It's your financial oxygen tank. If you lose your job, you breathe. If your car breaks down, you breathe. If life collapses, you breathe because you prepared. Most people don't want boring. They want exciting. They want cryptocurrency, meme stocks, next big thing investments. But wealth doesn't disappear because of a bad investment. It disappears because of a bad emergency. You don't go broke from market dips. You go broke from life dips. That's why you build an emergency fund. That's why you protect first, grow second. And let's be clear, insurance is not an expense. Insurance is armor. Health insurance, disability insurance, home insurance, life insurance if someone depends on your income. It's not a scam. It's not a waste. It's protection against the unexpected. You don't wear a seatbelt because you plan to crash. You wear it because you understand risk. If your income disappears tomorrow, can your life continue? If your car is totaled, will you survive financially? If a hospital visit costs $20,000, are you covered or are you destroyed? These questions are not fear-based. They are clarity-based. They are discipline-based. It's not about paranoia. It's about preparation. You have a choice. Be the person who says, I'll figure it out if something happens, or be the person who says, I figured it out before it happened. That's the difference between losing everything and losing nothing. That's the difference between chaos and calm. That's the key. Let's talk about diversification. Not just investments, your life. Never let your survival depend on one paycheck, one platform, one client, one source of income. Because the moment that one source fails, your life collapses with it. That is not wealth. That is captivity. Think about 2020. Businesses shut down. Jobs vanished. Markets crashed. People who looked rich on Instagram were suddenly selling their cars, begging for extensions, panicking. But people who had emergency funds, skills, multiple income streams, they didn't break. They bent, but they didn't break. Preparation gave them freedom. Protection gave them time. Repeat this. Wealth without protection is just a target. Every dollar you save, every asset you build, puts a target on your back. For taxes, emergencies, lawsuits, accidents, failure. That's why you shield it. That's why you diversify it. That's why you protect it. So what do? Step 1, build your emergency fund. Start with $1,000, then 1 month of expenses, then 3 months, eventually 6. Put it in a separate savings account. Not your checking, not your investment account. Don't touch it unless life punches you in the face. And life will. Step 2, get the right insurance. Not the cheapest, the right one. If you have dependents, get term life insurance. If you work for yourself, get disability insurance. If you own a home, protect it. If you rent, get renter's insurance. You don't buy a lock after the thief arrives. Step 3, diversify. If all your money is in one company, one income stream, one idea, you are gambling. Spread your investments. Index funds, rental property if you understand it, high-yield savings for short-term cash, multiple streams of income, side business, freelance work, digital products, something small but sustainable. Step 4, stop living at the edge. If every dollar you earn is spent, you have no margin. If every month is survival, you have no freedom. Wealth isn't how much you make. Wealth is how long you can live without income. That's protection. And let me remind you, you don't need their permission to protect your future. You don't need approval to save money. You don't need validation to say no to stupid purchases. You don't need to impress people. Their approval won't save you when the storm hits. This is not fear talking. This is wisdom. This is responsibility. This is how you build wealth that lasts. You're not just building money. You're building a fortress. You're building calm. You're building control over your life. You have a choice. Stay exposed, one paycheck away from panic, or build security so strong that chaos knocks and you don't flinch. That's the difference between living rich and living free. Wealth without protection is just a target. Never forget that. Protect your money so it can protect you. You've learned how to build. You've learned how to protect. Now let's learn how to keep it. not just in your bank account, but in your spirit. Chapter 10. Wealth means peace, not proving. You were taught that wealth is noise. Fast cars, designer brands, loud lifestyles. But real wealth? Real wealth is quiet. Real wealth is peace. Real wealth is not about proving anything to anyone. It's about no longer needing to. You have a choice. You can chase applause, or you can choose peace. You can chase validation, or you can choose freedom. You can spend your life trying to look rich, or you can spend your life actually becoming rich. But you can't do both. That's the key. The loudest people in the room are often the most insecure. The quiet ones, they already won. They don't need to prove it. They don't post every purchase. They don't argue about their status. They don't show their bank account, because their peace is the proof. Peace over applause. Freedom over validation. Look at truly wealthy people. The ones with real money, real assets, real ownership. They're not screaming for attention. They're not at every party, every camera, every trend. They live quietly. They invest privately. They protect their time. They protect their mind. Then look at the drowning middle class. Maxed out credit cards. Payments on everything they own. But they post like kings. They need attention to feel relevant. They need applause to feel alive. They are not chasing wealth. They are chasing approval. Peace over applause. Freedom over validation. There's a billionaire who still drives a used car. Not because he can't afford better, but because his self-worth doesn't come from a logo. There's a millionaire who wears the same $15 watch every day. Why? Because he's already paid for what matters. Silence, time, and control. You don't see these people because real wealth hides. Fake wealth performs. You've been lied to. You were trained to value appearance over reality. You were told success means attention. But attention is not wealth. Attention is a drug, and most people are addicted. They think being seen is the goal. But wealth is not about being seen. Wealth is about being free. You have a choice. Stop chasing applause. Start building peace. You don't need to prove you're successful. You don't need to convince anyone you've made it. The moment you stop performing, the moment you stop needing validation, that's when you start becoming truly wealthy. Peace over applause. Freedom over validation. Understand this. Wealth is not just money. Wealth is the ability to wake up and do what you want. Wealth is not worrying about rent. Wealth is not asking permission. Wealth is not needing acceptance. Wealth is walking into a room calm, not desperate. That's the key. Behavioral shift starts here. Stop buying things to impress people you don't even like. Stop sacrificing your peace to win someone else's approval. Stop letting likes, comments, and compliments determine your value. That is mental poverty. That is spiritual bankruptcy. Your job is to escape that. Your job is to build in silence until your life makes the noise for you. Start protecting your peace like it's your most expensive asset, because it is. Here's how. Stop explaining yourself. You don't owe anyone a presentation of your progress. Move in silence. Buy less. Own more. Own assets, not costumes. Invest in quiet things. Index funds, businesses, skills, things that don't need applause to grow. Guard your schedule. If it steals your time, it steals from your wealth. Stay private. Don't announce every move. Don't justify your decisions. Peace over applause. Freedom over validation. Real wealth is the ability to disappear when you want, to not be reachable 24/7, to rest when others are scrambling, to sit in a quiet room and feel no anxiety, to choose who you spend time with and who you never see again. Wealth is not just numbers in a bank. Wealth is the absence of panic. Wealth is the ability to breathe. Do you understand how powerful that is? Some of you are chasing the wrong prize. You want strangers to call you successful. You want comments, claps, compliments. But listen carefully. Applause is never ownership. Clout is never equity. Validation is not freedom. You have a choice. Keep chasing applause, and you will always be performing. Always be editing yourself. Always waiting for someone to clap. That is slavery, or choose peace. Choose the quiet life. Choose to build something no one sees, but everyone will feel. Peace over applause. Freedom over validation. The people who truly win don't need to prove it. Their lifestyle proves it. Their calendar proves it. Their peace proves it. And here's the paradox. When you stop performing, when you stop proving, when you choose peace over applause, people notice. They don't see arrogance. They see power. Power without noise. Confidence without display. Not, look at me, but I don't need you to. That's the level you're aiming for. So what is wealth? It's not the car. It's the fact that if the car breaks tomorrow, you're still fine. It's not the house. It's that you could move tomorrow and still be okay. It's not the brand names. It's the fact you don't care who's watching. That's wealth. That's real. You have a choice. Keep living loud. Keep chasing likes. Keep drowning for applause. Or step out of the performance. Build in silence. Own your life. Say it again until it lives inside you. Peace over applause. Freedom over validation. Because wealth isn't about being seen. Wealth is about being free. You mastered the truth. Wealth is not noise. It's silence. It's not proving. It's peace. Now it's time to protect what you've built. You don't need to chase more. You need to depend on less. Wealth isn't built by collecting things. It's built by removing what drains you. You remove debt. You remove unnecessary bills. You remove the need to impress people who don't care. You build systems. You track your money. You protect your time like it's gold. You invest only in what you understand, and you don't let chaos steal what you've built. This entire journey isn't about becoming rich. It's about becoming free. Free from panic when your phone buzzes with a bill. Free from waking up every Monday hating the life you're paying for. Real wealth is calm. Real wealth is control. Real wealth is the ability to wake up and say, I own my time.